Guys, we're finally getting around to taking a final look at this Cazador by Iconic Knives. You can see some images of parts of it. Just a little teaser. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good knife. We're going to take a look at it from above. All right, guys, this is the Iconic Knives Cazador. Now, this thing is from a brand that I had never heard of until I talked with Brian Nadeau on my podcast. He was a live guest on the live feed. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this. So it's a newer brand, and they're doing knives. They have a lot of different designers, and they're doing some really good knives. So this one is the Cazador, and it's designed by... Sorry about the freeze up, guys, but I absolutely was getting ready to say Julio Iglesias. It is Jonas Iglesias, J.I. Knives. I knew it was J.I. Knives. I just could not make it come out. So this is a really, really well done knife. Black micarta, D2 blade, coming down to a nice behind the edge thickness. Let's look at some specs real quick. I'm going to read them off to you. So you're looking at a overall length of 6.9 inches, 2.9 inch blade, cutting edge of 2.78. D2 drop point blade. It is 0.12 blade stock thickness, black micarta, and your weight overall is 3.5 ounces. So this is a really, really nice knife here that you've got. Now, a lot of you guys have said, I've heard you guys say it, I'm not doing size comparisons, so we'll get a couple size comparisons out. Your first knife's going to be the Something Obscene J-Cape V4, a knife that I just recently did a quick video about. You can see up here. So your next knife for size comparison is going to be, you guessed it, the Benchmade 940. You can see good bit smaller than the 940, but it's got a broader blade. This is a very, very nice size knife. And your final knife for comparison, as always, is the Chris Reeves Sebenza Large 21, significantly smaller, but you're not giving up a lot. So let's get this out of the way and finish talking about this knife. So like I said, I've been pretty impressed with this knife. D2, really good steel. If you're looking for a budget steel that's going to hold up, and this has, as you can see, I've done a lot of cutting with it. You can see the finish on that blade is kind of wrecked. But that's the thing about D2. You do want to put some sort of finish on it, or it will rust. This thing comes down to a very good behind the edge profile on this blade. Nice, thin behind the edge thickness on a nice broad blade. So it cuts really well. It cuts well above its size. It's not got too much of a radius, but it's also not too flat. So if you like some belly on your knives, this is just about the perfect midline. So you've got a lot of flat, and then you do have some belly, but it's not so pronounced that you slip off your material readily. Blade shape on it is really nice. This does come in several different versions, so it's got a bunch of different finishes. You can get just a satin, or you can get the coated. It is a liner lock running on thumb studs only. You can reverse the flick off the thumb studs really easily. The action on this is very, very good. Micarta scales on this are done very, very well. The micarta is beautifully done, and it's not polished to a point. It's not polished at all, so you don't have to worry about it being slippery. And if your hands are sweaty, it just seems to stick to it. It just feels like it's got adhesive on it. Access to the lock bar is really good. They didn't do anything over the top. They put a little bit of sculpting on that, but not a lot of jimping. So it gives it, that's just more for looks, and I find it to be attractive. It's kind of just a little pop, a little facet, but you've got really good access to the lock bar. Lockup on it is really good. There is no blade play, no lock rock. I haven't had it even feel like it was going to try and fail. I typically don't do a spine whack test because, you know, really, do I need to do a spine whack test? I typically like to put a little pressure on the spine and see if it feels like the lock bar is going to flex or come loose. They've done weight reduction inside on one side of the scale. We'll talk about that in a minute. And they have given you a nice pocket clip on this. So this is a deep carry pocket clip that was more of a, it's stylized more like a lot of the bent wire clips, or the bent clips that you get on other knives, but it's done really, really well. I know it looks unusual, but it's not a hot spot at all. It's very, very comfortable. It sits in the hand well. It doesn't dig into your hand. That's not an issue right there. And even though it's a smaller knife, I can still get a full 4 fingers on it, and it's a nice, comfortable knife to cut with. I've gotten to where I like some of these shorter knives. They don't feel out of place. Sometimes you get a longer knife, it feels awkward. You can also get way up on this and do detail work and things like that. And so far, I've done a lot of cutting with this and had no issue with it. You've got a really nice area here to put your thumb with no jimping. If you're going to do jimping, do it right or don't do it all. I like the clean lines and looks of this without any jimping. Now, with all of that being said, and this is a great knife, and I like the way it's got that nice clickety clack when it drops into detent. So you've got a nice snap open. And then it's just got a good sound. That's one of the things that is a knife, as a knife enthusiast, that's one of the things that most people don't understand. It's the way a knife sounds. That sounds good. So all those good things. Oh, and their logo. Their logo is just beautifully done on this pivot. So all that being said, let's turn this around. You guys check out Coffee Brand Coffee real quick, and we're going to turn around and get into some of the small little negative things. Guys, you guys know I love coffee. I even have my own personalized coffee mug. But did you know that a lot of the coffee companies out there take a lot of the money that you give them that they should be throwing back into the company to make a better product and turn it into activism dollars? Coffee Brand Coffee does not do that. They take no stance politically any direction. They take all the money that they make and try to make a better product. So if you want to support this channel and a company that I absolutely do like the fact that they don't lean either direction politically, check out Coffee Brand Coffee. There's a link down below that will save you 5% at checkout, or you can use the coupon code Crazy Sharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, Crazy Sharp, all one word. They also have cold brew coffee, teas, and cocos, freshly ground and roasted to order. So check them out, support them, and support this channel. So there's not much negative to say on this, but this knife does have something, and I've noticed it in a couple other knives, and someone pointed it out to me years ago, and I really didn't put a lot of stock into it, but I can feel the weight difference from side to side. They've done weight reduction on this side, but not on the lock bar side, and I can feel the difference in weight. Somebody said that they can tell when there's carbon fiber on one side and titanium on the other, and I didn't notice it until I really started paying attention. And so this does have a difference in weight from side to side, and you can feel it. Like, you really can. The other thing, pocket clip moves. Not much, but the pocket clip does move. It's just got that little bit of flex to it. Typically when you're deploying the knife, when you've got a hold of it and your fingers are on the pocket clip when you're getting ready to do the deployment. And then the final thing is the grind on the blade is a little inconsistent. The edge grind is tiny bit inconsistent. You can see it's kind of asymmetrical, and it does transition from being nice and thin here up to a thick tip and a thicker heel. I think that this just needed to be, you can see already where it thickens up at the very heel of the knife, and you can see where that edge grind's going to start and swoop up and give you a smile. If this had been opened up maybe just a little bit further, and then this ground a little bit thinner at the tip and a little bit more consistent, you can see it just thickens up. Now, what that does do is give you a really robust tip that's not necessarily going to break, but it absolutely does affect when you do your first sharpening. And what I think it is I think the swedge was ground different from side to side, as you can see. So there's a small inconsistency in the grind of the swedge, which is going to lead to inconsistencies of the edge grind at the tip. But overall, for under $100, this is a very, very nice knife. So I will put a link to the purchase of this down below in the comments and in the description. Guys, let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, send you out about your day.
So yeah, guys, all in all, I'm digging this knife a lot. For a small knife, it fits really good in hand. It's very, very good. It cuts really well. I'm pretty impressed with it. At under $100, it's a good value. Like I said, there'll be a link to it down below. But big shout out to Brian Nadeau for letting me know about this brand. And thanks to my little buddy, The Hobbit, for letting me borrow this so that we could do the video. So I'm digging it. I don't like to recommend things to you guys unless they're a good product. So, you know, I'm not making anything by telling you guys how good it is. So, that's it on this one, guys. If you want to support the channel, you know the ways: likes, thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me why you don't like the video. If you don't, I can't change it if you don't tell me. I have got the sponsors, Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. They both are great, great vendors that will not go woke. Nathan over at Tempered Trail is adding new stuff to his menu of stuff that he's got on top of the really, really super good shoelaces. He's also doing hand stitch wallets and things. Coffee Brand Coffee, down below, there's a link. That's the best way to do it because the coupon code doesn't always work when they're doing sales. So if you take the link down below, you'll still get any of the sales that they got going on, but it still supports the channel. The coupon code for Tempered Trail Also works at Rosecraft Knives and Ferrum Forge Knife Works, and that is crazy sharp, all one word. I have an Amazon store down below. You can take that, pin it to your browser. If you're buying shampoo or if you're buying Skeletor toys, it doesn't matter. You can take that, pin it to your browser, use it for any shopping you're gonna do on Amazon. And it doesn't cost you anything at checkout. And the final ways, I have a membership. I would love if everybody joined the membership because I can give you a benefit. It's me giving back to you for supporting the channel. I have got a Gilded server that is a chat server for everyone to hang out in. I do giveaways for the premium and baseline guys there. The premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series on YouTube, but everyone has access to the server. Everyone has early access to videos as often as I can get them up early. And you guys get exclusive content that's just for you guys. So that's it on this one, guys. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.